जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य शुतश शिष्यमित हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
रामाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन धाम की
जय।
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की
जय।
नवदीप मायापुर धाम की
जय।
गंगा माई की
जय।
यमुना माई की
जय।
भक्ति देवी की
जय।
तुलसी महारानी की जय
जय।
नाम संकीर्तन की जय
जय।
अमृत भक्त वृंद की जय
जय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
जय।
गीता की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि
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 हरि बोल।
all glories to assembled devotees
हरे कृष्णा।
all glories to assembled devotees
हरे कृष्णा।
all glories to assembled devotees
हरे कृष्णा।
all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga all glories to Srila Prabhupada all glories to Srila Gurudev. So Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are on Canto 3rd, chapter 5, verse number 45. So I'm going to recite the verse and then we can have some volunteers who can recite. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
तान्वैः सद्वृत्तिभिरक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनसः परेशा अथो न पश्यन्त्य उरुगायनूनम् ये ते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्याः तान्वैः सद्वृत्तिभिरक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनसः परेशा अथो न पश्यन्त्य उर्गायनूनम् ये ते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्याः तान्वैः सत्वृत्तिभिरक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनसः परेशा अथो न पश्यन्त्य उर्गायनूनम् ये ते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्याः. Hare Krishna. So, if any devotees would like to recite, please go on.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
तन्मैहि असाधभित्तिभिरक्षभिये पराहृतान्तर्मनुषा परेशा अथो न पश्यन्ति उरुगयानूनाम् ये ते पदन्यासा विलासा लक्ष्याया। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
तान्तैः असद्वृत्तिभिरक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनसा परेशा अतो न पश्यन्त्य उरुगायनूनम् यते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्या। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
तन्वैः असद्वृत्तिभिराक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनुषाः परेशा अथो न पश्यन्त्य उरुगायनूनम् ये ते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्या।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Mataji.
तन्वायि असद्वृत्तिभिरक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर्मनसा परेशा अथो न पश्यन्त्या उरुगायनूनम् ये ते पदन्यासविलासलक्ष्या.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? Okay. So we'll move on to synonyms. Tan, the lotus feet of the Lord. Vai, certainly. He, for. Asat, materialistic. Vrittibhi, by those who are influenced by external energy. Akshibhi, by the senses. Ye, those. Parahrita, missing at distance. Antah manasah, of the internal mind. Paresha, O Supreme. Atho, therefore. Na, never. Pashyanti, can see. Urugaya, O great. Nunam, but. Ye, those. Who. Te, your. Padanyasa, activities. Vilasa, transcendental enjoyment. Lakshyaha, those who see. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 1861, Lord is situated in everyone's heart. It is natural that one should be able to see the Lord at least within himself. But that is not possible for those whose internal vision has been covered by external activities. The pure soul, which is symptomized by consciousness, can be easily perceived even by a common man, because consciousness is spread all over the body. The yoga system, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, is to concentrate the mental activities internally and thus see the lotus feet of the Lord within oneself. But there are many so-called yogis who have no concern with the Lord, but are only concerned with the consciousness, which they accept as final realization. Such realization of consciousness is taught by Bhagavad Gita within only a few minutes. Whereas the so-called yogis take continuous years to realize it because of their offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual souls, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. The impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection, and thus they wrongly accept the individual consciousness as the supreme consciousness. The theory of reflection of the Supreme can be very easily understood without difficulty by any sincere common man. When there is a reflection of the sky on the water, both the sky and the stars are seen within the water. But it is understood that the sky and the stars are not to be accepted on the same level. The stars are the part of the sky, and therefore they cannot be equal to the whole. The sky is the whole and the stars are the part. They cannot be one and the same. Transcendentalists who do not accept the supreme consciousness as separate from the individual consciousness are as offensive as the materialists who deny even the existence of the Lord. Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten people in God consciousness. The offenders, however, lose the chance to receive Lord's devotees. Although the offenseless common man is at once influenced by the devotee's presence, in this connection there is an interesting story of a hunter and Devarishi Narada. A hunter in the forest, although a great sinner, was not an intentional offender. He was at once influenced by the presence of Narada, and he agreed to take the path of devotion, leaving aside his hearth and home. But the offenders, Nalkuvera and Manigriv, even though living amongst the demigods, had to undergo the punishment of becoming trees in their next lives, although by the grace of a devotee they were later delivered by the Lord. Offenders have to wait until they receive the mercy of the devotee, and then they can become eligible to see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves. But due to their offenses and their extreme materialism, they cannot see even the devotees of the Lord. Engaged in external activities, they kill the internal vision. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without such hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. Hare Krishna. So, Mataji, you can stop sharing. I'm done. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतापत्कमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, all devotees. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before I start, I would like to seek blessings from all senior Vaishnavas present here so that I'm able to convey the right words and whatever I've heard from my seniors, my spiritual master. If there is any mistake, that's completely mine. So with that spirit, I would like to start with today's discussion, which is a very beautiful section in this 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd. This chapter, we see the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya Muni. The talks between them. Just a small recap because we don't have that much time. Like we know, like how Vidura reached Haridwar and met Maitreya Muni. Glorified Vidur because Vidur is also not an ordinary personality. He glorified how his high parentage, he's a son of Vyasadeva, and how he was Yamraj actually in his previous life, one of the Mahajan. So he glorified Vidura and then he started talking about his questions. And while describing about Purusha avatars, then he described the process of creation. That how Mahavishnu, the Karnodaksha Vishnu, glanced upon material nature, and with his glance, so many things happened. With his glance, the Mahatattva is with his glance, the Mahatattva is formed, then Mahatattva transforms into Ahankar, then Ahankar in three modes, goodness, passion, and interest, give rise to 23 elements which are necessary for the creation. That's why, that's the purpose of Mahavishnu's glance. He wants to have a creation. So these 23 elements are formed, but they don't know how to execute their function. Why they are there, what they have to do, how they have to do their duty, they don't know how to do that. And not knowing that, they are offering prayers to Mahavishnu because they don't know how to execute the duty right now. So the presiding deities of all these elements, uh, all the deities, they are offering prayers to Lord Mahavishnu. Why they're executing prayers? They're asking to the help so that they can execute their service, what they're assigned for. They're given some duty by the Lord and they're unable to do that duty. So they're praying to the Lord. So whenever we have some service, we should pray to the Lord first because as an individual, we have no capacity to do anything. Only by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, we are able to do the service. So these presiding deities of all the elements are praying to Mahavishnu. In Bhagavatam, there are so many prayers. Prayers by Kunti Maharani, prayers by Prahlad Maharaj, prayers by Dhruv Maharaj. All these prayers are important. Why are they important? Because they are offered by great devotees. And here also, these demigods are the devotees of the Lord. And they are not ordinary personalities. So these prayers are very important for us. So many things we can learn and apply in our devotional life, learning from these teachings. So these prayers start from verse number 39, which starts from the glorification of taking shelter unto the Lord's lotus feet. What is the glory of one who takes the shelter of Lord's lotus feet? And in that, it has been very greatly described how this shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is like an umbrella. When there is a rainy season, and in India, I see when there is a hot season, also the summer season, people usually take umbrella to protect themselves from heat and rain. Here also, when there is rainy season, we see people with umbrellas. Why? They protect themselves from rain. But in this material world is place of miseries. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, this is a dukhalaya, full of miseries. And how we can protect ourselves from those miseries, threefold miseries? These threefold miseries, adhyatmic, adhibhautik, and adhidevic. How we can protect us ourselves? By taking shelter unto the Lord's lotus feet, by surrendering unto Him. In Nectar of Devotion, one of the characteristics of pure devotional service is Kleshagni, the first characteristics. Kleshagni brings end to all kleshas. This is one of the characteristics given in Nectar of Devotion of pure devotional service. And in these, from 39 till 43, there is so many glories are mentioned. What happens when a person takes shelter? He gets all knowledge, renunciation, and these lotus feet of the Lord are the source of Ganges. It reveals all knowledge and it gives remembrance and courage. So in these 38, 9 to 43, the descriptions of glory of taking shelter into Lord's lotus feet are described. And after that, from 44th verse, which we covered yesterday, and today we are on to 45th verse, till 47th verse, two types of people are mentioned. The qualified and unqualified candidates who for taking the shelter of lotus feet of the Lord. Who can take, who are able to take, and who are not able to take. The one who is not able to take, why they are not able to take. The one who is able to take, how they can able to take. These are the very two important points which are described in from verse number 44 to 47, the section which we are on right now. And then the prayers, then after 47 till from 48 till 51, Their prayers for enlightenment and the directions which the demigods are asking from the Lord so that they can execute their duties. So this is a section today what we are going to. Yesterday also we covered the people who are not able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. Why? Because they're in conception of I and mine, the bodily conception. They are only concerned about their body. What are the needs of the body? Who are related to the body? That is the only concern of their activities. They are not interested in anything else. So that is, and today's verse also, Prabhupada mentions who are able to see and who are not able to see. So we'll be discussing that in the today's verse. In this verse, Prabhupada starts with how Krishna in the sitting in the heart of all living entities. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hirdeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Krishna says in verse number 1861, Prabhupada starts with that line itself. In verse 1861, Prabhupada mentions, even though Krishna is so near to us, sitting in our heart, still people are not able to see him. And commonly we see many people, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his lectures so many times that people come and ask, like, have you seen God? Have you seen God? So these are the very common question asked by people. They want to see God and they ask the devotees, have you seen God? But seeing God is not like we can make effort and see it. Like we have to have qualifications to see the Lord. Then only we can see the Lord. Prabhupada in one of his purports mentions an example of person suffering from cataract, eye disease. Because he's suffering from eye disease, cataract, his vision is not clear. He cannot see the things as it is because of the disease. And when the disease is cured by the doctor, the eye become okay, and then the vision becomes clear. And he is able to see the things in a right form. Same is the problem for people in this yuga. People want to see the Lord, but they don't understand, but they are suffering from a disease. And unless the disease is not cured, they won't be able to see the Lord. So we'll be discussing this. So first, Prabhupada mentioned about the people who are not able to see the Lord. Who are those people? So yesterday we see the people who are in the concept of I and mine. Today also in this verse, Prabhupada starts the purport with the people who are materialistic. Materialistic people. Who are the materialistic people? They are always engaged in the activities relating to their body, sense gratification, and enjoyment. So-called enjoyment. Actually, in this material world, there is no enjoyment. But the so-called enjoyment which they feel is enjoyment, which is very temporary, shanik, very temporary. They are running after that. I was recently reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, the teachings of Lord Rishabdev, in which Prabhupada mentions in one of the purport that how a person wakes up in the morning, sometimes spends almost 1 to 2 hours to go to work, and then 8 hours he or she works, and then again 1 or 2 hours he comes back home, eats, sleep, and enjoys sex with his wife, and then again back to the normal, again same thing again next day. That's how he spent whole his life thinking, by this I will become happy, I will become satisfied. Materialistic, getting more and more external things. Like we are thinking that this phone will make me happy. So many electronic modern gadgets are there. We think that they will make us happy, but instead they are making us more miserable. Many of you and many of us are realizing now that how much these smartphones and these electronic gadgets are making us more dependent on them and making our life more miserable. Rather than making us happy, they're making us more miserable and deviating us from the purpose of our life, which is God realization. So these kind of materialistic people who are just running after sense gratification, not knowing what their soul wants, not feeding the soul, just feeding the external body, and and leaving the real purpose of life. These kind of people cannot have the darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord, because they are always engaged in satisfying their senses. In one of the analogies, it is said, when we give more and more clarified butter ghee to the fire, what happens? The fire becomes more bigger and bigger. Same way, if we keep on supplying the senses, oh, what they want, today I want this, next day maybe this, other day maybe this, rather than becoming satisfied, they will become more and more agitated. We sometimes people think, okay, let me give the one thing today, and from tomorrow I will do spiritual life or this or bhakti or that. But no, next day there will be some other demand. The senses will make some other demand. And then mind keeps on running after those demands as the senses are demanding. So these kind of people cannot have the darshan or of lotus feet of the Lord. They cannot surrender to the Lord. The other kind of people Prabhupada mentions in the purport is the impersonalists or Mayavadis. Why they are not able to see the Lord? Because of their offenses. They are called, Prabhupada mentions them as offenders. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes in this verse itself, the greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual soul, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. This is the greatest offense that they make, thinking the Lord and the individual soul as one. And Prabhupada gives an example of when there is a reflection of sky in the water. Sky and stars, both are seen in the water. But what is the difference? Sky is huge, but the stars are the part of the sky. And the sky is whole. And stars are the parts. They are not one and same. Like we see the example of the ocean and the drop of water in the ocean. In one way they are same, but the drop of water of the ocean is a part of whole ocean. Similarly, we living entity, we are never equal to Lord, never. We will always have our separate existence. And these people, they think, they say that we will become equal to Lord. And Lord himself, his form, his pastimes are all products of Maya. That is their conception. That's why Prabhupada said these people are offenders. They say the form of Lord is Maya. So that's why they are called offenders. The right understanding is that we are qualitatively equal to Lord. In some, we have qualities like Lord, but in quantity, we are not equal. The Lord is called Vibhu, the greatest, and we are called Anu, we are the smallest. So these kind of people, they are not able to see the Lord, they are not able to surrender the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna mentions 4 types of people who cannot surrender to Lord in 7:15. And one of them is Maya Parata Jnana. And this is mentioning about these people only. In another verse in Bhagavad Gita 7:25, Krishna says, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. Therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So many places Krishna has corrected this point, what Mayavadis are saying, that how we are not equal. Krishna is greatest and we are part and parcel of Krishna. And the people who are offenders and materialistic, they are not able to see the Lord. They won't be able to see the Lord because of their materialistic attitude and their offenses. But then comes the point, who are the people who are able to see the Lord? That is a very important point. Who are the people who are able to see the Lord? And in that, there is a very important verse in Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma. Verse 538. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यमशाम सुन्दरम् अचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. What is the meaning? Only the person whose eyes are tinged with the devotion and love, those are the only people who can see and take and darshan of the Lord, and they can surrender the Lord. The love and devotion, that is the factor uh, which can take us to the Lord, which can, by that process, we can surrender to the Lord and take the darshan of the Lord. And we have many examples. It's not just written that, okay, this verse is written. We see the Prahlad Maharaj. Even though Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, oh, can you see the Lord here, 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 here? Prahlad could see the Lord, Nrsimhadev, but Hiranyakashipu could not see. See the difference. Prahlad could see, he's a devotee who has love and for Krishna, but Hiranyakashipu, who is an offensive person, he was not able to see the Lord. So only the pure devotees of the Lord who have who do loving devotional service, they're able to see the Lord and relish the pastimes of the Lord. And the materialistic people, which we just talk, offenders and the materialistic people, they're not only able to see the Lord, but they are not able to see the devotees of the Lord also. The two things, they're not able to see the Lord, but they're not able to see the devotees of the Lord. Why it is important to see the devotees of the Lord? Because when the devotee, we see the devotees are preaching, they're going here and there to preach Krishna consciousness. But these offenders, even when the devotees come, they're not able to receive the devotees. Rather, they make them go away or something like that. They disrespect them also sometimes. So these offenders they're not able to see the devotees also. So in this, Prabhupada mentions, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the two kind of people, the common innocent people and the offender. So Prabhupada gives both examples. For the common innocent people, Prabhupada gave the example of Mrigari the hunter and Narad Muni. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport, this Mrigari hunter, even though he was committing sinful activity, he was killing the animals half dead. He was not fully killing the animals. He was killing them half. So they were suffering. When they're half dead, they're suffering. So Narad Muni came and he asked him, why you are doing like this? Rather kill them fully, don't make them half dead. But he said, oh, I learned like this from my father. So Narad Muni instructed him. And even though he was committing that sin, but he did not disrespect Narad Muni. He did not offend him. And rather, he took the instructions of Narad Muni and followed them. And by following them, he was able to get bhakti. So this is a common person who don't know about the glory of bhakti, who don't know. But when he met the devotee, he received his instruction and followed them nicely. So second example Prabhupada give in this is often of the person who is offensive. What example Prabhupada gives is from the Damodar Leela, Nal Kuber and Manigriv. These Nal Kuber and Manigriv, they are son of demigod Kubera. They are not ordinary personalities. They have knowledge. They have knowledge and they're on very high level. They're not like the Mrigari who don't know anything and like that. They're not like him. And when in the past time we see when they were enjoying in the Mandakini river with some girls, when Narad Muni came, they did not offer him any respect. They did not offer him any respect. Even the girls who were there, they went away, but they were standing there like a jada person, not offering any respect and behaving in a very wrong way. So in one way, in that way we see they offended Narad Muni. And in return to that, Narad Muni cursed them to become trees. But in the devotees curse also have something good in them. So they become the trees in the Nandangan, the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and they saw the childhood pastimes of Krishna, and later they were delivered by Krishna and they became returned back to their original form. So these, since they offended, they did not take the association of Narad Muni immediately. They first got the curse, and then so it took some time. Whereas Prabhupada mentions in the purport, the Mrigari, the hunter, immediately he took the advantage of association of Narad Muni, who's one of the Mahajan. So this is the difference. But still, we see the devotees. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the Lord's devotees, who, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotee. That's why devotees are called merciful. Merciful. By their blessings, a person who is not a devotee, they can put the seed of bhakti in them. And sometimes we see when the devotees are going out for preaching, they meet many such kind of people. There are sometimes the people who easily accept the instructions of the preacher, uh, and they follow the process very nicely. And on the other hand, there are people who don't take, rather sometimes they offend also. But still, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, devotees are merciful. They don't mind the offenses of even such people, and they are ready to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. And we have many such examples of in our Shastras like that. And most of the time we see Narad Muni always goes and preach different places. He preached Dhruv Maharaj, he preached the thief Ratnakar. So many places we see the example of Narad Muni always going and preaching. And for us, we have a today's example, in modern day example, we have our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, who at the age of 70, he came to Western world. Why? To preach Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada, when Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the Lord's devotee continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon everyone without hesitation. So when Prabhupada came to the Western world, he saw people were engaged in many sinful activities like meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling. But he did not pay attention to that thing. Rather, he showed his mercy on everyone and gave Krishna consciousness without any like criteria. He gave this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to everyone, whoever came to him, from whatever background. So this is what we learn from Prabhupada. Like we learn from how we should preach. Sometimes we make discrimination. Oh, maybe this person I should not give from the outer, their look or something. We made discrimination sometimes. Maybe I should not preach this person or that person. Oh, this person is in that body, so I should not preach. But Prabhupada didn't make any discrimination. Without any discrimination, he fulfilled the order of his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and preached Krishna consciousness like anything. So we should also, like how Prabhupada mentions here, like that we should also follow in his footstep and preach Krishna conscious movement, going outside, preaching to all, and talking to new people. Whenever we see any new people, we see in temple, many new people come. So we should try and talk to them discussed with them Krishna consciousness, welcomed them with happy faces. They should feel welcomed when they come to the temple. This is a very nice place. So sometimes not only by philosophy we preach, but by behavior also we preach. So first thing is our behavior. So when we see someone, we should be very happy, smiling face. And slowly, we can give some instructions. So very important. So in summarized, what we learned today, we learned about the people who can take shelter of the Lord and people who cannot take shelter unto Lord. People who cannot take shelter unto Lord, why they are not able to take shelter, and the people who are able to take shelter unto Lord, what is the qualification, and how those people even preached without any discrimination and give Krishna consciousness to everyone. So that's all for today. So with that, I will end my discussion. If any corrections, any realizations are there, you are free to share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Revati.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna
very
Mataji.
much for a nice class. Yes, this Kali Yuga we all need. The devotee association. And then from morning to evening, we should think of God and we should be grateful to God, what He's giving us every day. Morning when we wake up, we think of God and then see until we go to bed. Because we don't have enough time, I know. Without Lakshmi, we cannot live in this world too, in Kali Yuga. But at the same time, Lakshmi is not the first one. The whole thing is not that. We need that, but we need this also. So that fact, realization, that is very less in Kali Yuga. And we are seeing a lot of atrocities happening. And everybody is saying that God fear is not there. God love is not there. So that's why we are facing all these things. But realization is the main thing. I don't know how to tell that. And if you tell the children also, sometimes if you tell children also, they're not in listening stage. No. But what will you do? You cannot hit them. You cannot tell them strongly. If you say a little rash, they won't listen at all. So that is the problem they're facing nowadays, Kali Yuga. Younger generation, everybody is facing that.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
And when Narad Muni said what is that? Those two were playing in the, I forgot the name.
Nalkuver and Manigriv.
Nalkuver and Manigriv. They were just playing and enjoying. But when Narad Muni said, they corrected themselves at least. But the curse, they had the curse. And then when they begged, then at least Narada Muni, they gave it. But that is the thing, we do mistakes, but we need to correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
nice.
So
Nice.
as you said, like morning we wake up, we are having this class. So we all know Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna.
Yeah,
So every morning we have having direct association with Krishna
with Krishna.
through the words of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah,
Every morning. Yeah.
that really I'm enjoying this. And then in this, thanks to Zoom, in modern technology, but I feel like I am associating with the devotees.
Yes.
I'm sitting with devotees and listening Bhagavatam.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much I'm thankful to everybody. The technology or God or everybody. I thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So any other devotees would like to share something?
Thank you very much. Very nice class. And you've given very nice, important point about explaining the two kind of devotees, the surrender to Krishna. About one thing I said, like you give when we go to the temple, there's so many new people coming. We should have always a smiling face and receive them.
Yeah.
Give them a good impression.
Yeah.
So
Because sometimes what happens, we become excited and directly telling philosophy to them.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you should not do this. Oh, you are doing no. We should be first welcoming them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, not only in the temple, at home also. If anybody comes, if that house lady, if she won't smile and she won't invite, how can we walk into that house? It's very hard.
Yeah. And sharing Krishna consciousness, there's a lot of opportunity. We just, when you go to the temple, we should not sing only or socializing with our friend. It's good to approach new people.
Yes.
Yeah. Then, I did it last year, as this had been my service for many years, like receiving all the new guests. And, that's very, very nice thing. People really appreciate, people will come to you, say, thank you. You were so nice to me. Now I like coming to the temple. And take association of devotees.
Yeah. Even I've experienced this thing, what you are saying, Mataji. Yeah. If you become a friend, they will just come. Oh, you're my friend. But slowly, this will happen also. Yeah. Krishna consciousness will also go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other devotees?
Thank you, Mother. It was really, really nice. It's always nice to hear you. I do, and everyone's discussion about how we should greet. I really appreciate that, as first, first and foremost is become a friend, show how happy you are, and they will get pulled. Is preaching by action, not by so I really, really appreciate that. I've been trying to do that regard, not just at the temple, even in my natural, like my work and everywhere. And then
Everywhere.
people feel like, oh, okay, so little things. So, oh, what is that you were on your head? Oh, that's tilak. And then you start, oh, this is just, this is what we believe, and because it's on my arms, and like in summer they'll see it, right? So I'm like, oh, this body is meant for service to the Lord. I'm like, oh, where are you from? Oh, we have a temple here. And it's just it's just so amazing how Krishna gets his message across and uses you. We have to be ready to be used, and I really liked your point, and that we have to try harder, just be friends, and don't try to jump and preach, because sometimes we are so excited we want to, not because because we don't like it, or not because we were trying to do it. We're just so excited, so yeah, thank you for bringing that, and just having us like take a step back and think, and like, okay, yeah, so yeah, like last Sunday there's couple comes, and they're saying, the guy is saying, why is there a separation between men and women? Why can't I? It's the first time I'm here. She's feeling uncomfortable sitting there alone. Like, can I sit with her? You know? And I just thought for a second. I said, yes, you go stand with her, sit with her. That's okay. Hey, first, they have to be comfortable. She's scared. She's not happy. Or she's like, if she walks out of the temple not being comfortable, we have missed our point. So there are certain things we all have to just adjust, and just say that, okay, it's the first time they're here, let them sit, let them be, let them just get comfortable. Another time there was this Western devotee who came in with short clothes, and everyone's like, oh, you should have a sign saying you should have only come, and you should have extra skirts, put them on. I'm like, no, at least they're at the temple, they're not at a bar. It's like they will learn. They will see how many people have we seen they have been coming and they have changed. But if we force it, then people don't like. We don't like when we are forced, right? So it's a very good part that we should all really get into, is how we can welcome and make sure, become their friends and help them out. My Guru Maharaj says one thing, is you have to, if you are a very high level and the other person is not at your level, you'll never be able to hold their hands. You have to come down to their level and then hold their hand, and then you can pull them up. But if you're just going to be sitting up there and just, saying, and it just won't happen. So you have to become their friend, come down in a way that, like, you're not coming down in your behavior or anything, but coming down to an understanding of where they are coming from, and then become their friend, and then pull them up. So you're like giving association in a manner that they understand. So it took me a long time to understand that, but it was it's a it's a something that actually it still takes me time to understand. Maybe you can explain that. Maybe you can get that, if you feel like.
Yeah. So as you're mentioning, like via behavior, and when you said like if some devotee is in a higher level and they're teaching someone who is just a newcomer, and if they're telling something very basic or simple, it's not that they're coming down. That's what you're mentioning, right? If I'm
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So we have to give something step by step. Yeah, like if some we see the children also, they don't directly go to the college math or like something. They have to start with the basic. So when we are coming down and telling them the basic, it's not that we are degrading ourselves. It doesn't mean that. We are just helping that person uh, so that they can come up. We're helping them to come up rather thinking that, oh, we are going down. We are not going down. We are helping that person come up. So that's what I will think in that way. Yeah. Telling them basic thing is helping them to come up rather than thinking, oh, someone might think, oh, you're telling such a simple thing. Oh, you don't know only this thing. You don't know the higher philosophy. Why don't tell the higher philosophy? Why are you telling only the simple thing? But we have to tell that person simple thing. Otherwise, we won't be able to help that person. So that's my point of view of thinking in this matter. I hope I'm mentioning the thing what you are looking for.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, very nicely explained. Yes. Mm.
Thank you, Sita Mataji. So, any other devotees? If yes, please share. Otherwise, we'll end the call.
Can I add one thing? This is Sangeeta.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, please accept mine. All glories to Prabhupada. I came in late, but what I heard was a wonderful class. Thank you. I wanted to mention, I love Sita's comments from her guru. There's, in fact, we were just discussing recently, there's a text in Adi Leela chapter 7 about Lord Chaitanya is a river that flows downstream. He reaches his hand down to pick up the most fallen. And I think that applies here to what we're discussing. We're not reaching our hand down to pick up the most fallen, and now we become fallen. We're like what you just said, we're reaching our hand down to like we were in that position at one point. We're not born pure devotees, where Prabhupada reached down and to pick us up. We were hippies and he made us happies, it's like that. We're following in Lord Chaitanya's footsteps. We're following in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps. We're reaching down to pick up the fallen, but we're not becoming fallen. We're just following in the footsteps of the great acharyas.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing your wonderful point. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I don't think so we have any more. Yeah. So we'll end for today's session and we'll meet again tomorrow morning.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम
भगवती जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
और प्रेमानंदे। हरे
हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू माताजी।
Thank you.